Pitch to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Welcome to Foxborough's Gillette Stadium for this AFC divisional playoff between the New England Patriots, the number 2 seed, and the 5th-seeded Houston Texans. 2 receivers to the right, including Douglas. Maye's looking that way. He's throwing down. Douglas makes the catch. Runs first to the 10-5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots! In a tight formation, 2-by-2. Single back is Chubb. Play fake. Bootleg to the near side. Receiver fell down, and Stroud throws it up in the air. Intercepted Marcus Jones. Right 20, 15-10. Jones is tackled by Hutchinson. Takes him to the pylon. Touchdown! Patriots! Diggs motions right to left. Henry the tight end left. Drake takes the snap. He lets it left. Fires for Diggs. Stretching out. Touchdown. Makes the catch. Touchdown! Patriots! Stop playing, man! Hey!
What are you worried about them, man? Worry about us, we'll be just fine.
Steps up over the right guard. Here comes a 4-man rush. Maye stands in, throws a long ball deep down the right side for Keyshawn Booty. Reaches out with the right hand, pulls it in! Touchdown! Patriots! The second-year quarterback is about to play in an AFC Championship game in Denver. The Patriots win it over the Texans, 28-16.
If you'd have told me at the start of the season we're going to go 14-3 and make the AFC Championship, I would have sent you back to the funny farm. But weird things do happen, and this has become a weird season. Welcome, everybody, to the Patriots Touchback Podcast. It is Season 3, Episode 51, and we've got DJ and Luke with us for this evening. The New England Patriots are on their way to the AFC Championship, beating the Houston Texans, the number one ranked defense in the entire NFL, beating them 28-16. You could look at the box scores all you want to say Drake did look like he had a good game, but that's far from the story. And we've got so much to unpack. First things first, though, guys, make sure you smash the like button, grog spike the subscribe button. Make sure you tell all your friends. Follow us on social media platforms. Follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple as well. We are literally 24 subs off from hitting 100. Super Bowl is literally only a few weeks away, guys. So, let's see if we can get to that as quickly as we can. DJ and Luke are on with us tonight. This should be a good one to unpack. DJ, Luke, how are we doing this evening?
Yeah, we're all good, mate.
Doing good. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, I think you summed it up quite well there.
Trigger happy on the alarm, on the horn.
Yeah.
No, it was too low.
Oh.
He woke up like 15 minutes before this stream starts, and I'm so unprepared. So I've completely mishandled this one so far. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? The New England Patriots 28, Houston Texans 16. We knew, DJ, that going into this game, this Texans defense was going to give us all kinds of issues. And boy, was it well advertised.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the defensive side of the ball first, okay? Because this game is not won unless the defense keeps us in it. The harassing, I think that's the right word to describe what we did to CJ Stroud, was absolutely brutal. Everyone played their part in the tackles, whether it was Christian Ellis or Robert Spillane in the tackling, or whether that was Craig Woodson, again, our 4th-round rookie, has we've been saying it now for the last 2 or 3 games now. He's literally come to the light now, and he's literally making play after play after play. Anthony Jennings has made plays. Christian Gonzalez, our not an all-pro corner, but second all-pro, should be first team All Pro, but I'll have that argument with anybody. Was phenomenal in this game. There were so many people that we could just say, yeah, everyone had their fair share of it. Where do you want to start? Which defensive player are you going to give praise to first?
I mean, I'm going to give praise to the whole unit. I think we came into this game knowing, after having the preview show and going through the game last week, we knew that this was going to be a defense versus defense battle rather than the offense versus the offense. And it was probably going to come down to who was going to break who in the offensive side of things. And lucky enough, we had that one or two extra plays than what they obviously did. I didn't think CJ Stroud was going to have a worse game than he did versus the Bills. Not the Bills. Who did they have before that they beat? Pittsburgh. With so many turnovers as well. But this just literally topped it. I don't know. He was confused. He had no one to throw it to. Everyone was injured, which made obviously things a bit more difficult for him. I think in the second half he did come back a bit more refreshed and probably had a telling off or had a little bit of a talk to like a one-on-one coaching thing, and then started to run the ball, which did seem to work. But I think the damage was all probably already done at that point. And yeah, and as soon as the Butte touchdown came in, and I thought that was probably pretty much game then. But yeah, I have to give praise to Woodson. I think he's come through in these last couple of games where he's now been the dominant player in that backfield, the one that we can depend on. Where we Duggar, and now we're actually okay that we've let Duggar go and we've replaced him with Woodson, and I can only see him getting better in that backfield as well. And he's a rookie.
What about you, Luke?
I have to give props to the two linebackers, Ellison Spillane.
Yeah.
I think they came to play. You could just see how well they were hitting the holes when they were playing gaps, and I think the whole front seven were great. But I really think the two linebackers there, along with Tavai as well, did a great job. I'll always hit the alarm bell or the horn for Anthony Jennings as well. I just think the way he sets the edge, he got a sack as well. I think finishing plays has always been a weakness of his, but there's very few players better against the run than he is. And we saw that. I think, what did Woody Marks have? 14 carries for 17 yards or something like that in the game. Just kind of says it all really about how well they played the run. I think 14 for 17 and a long of 8. So do that maths. So
yeah, they did stuff the run up. Yeah,
they just completely stuffed the run, made CJ Stroud pass into a secondary that was excellent. And I know I started off. I think I'm kind of doing a bit of you there, DJ. I'm kind of going. I started with the linebackers. I praised the front seven, and now I'm about to praise the secondary because it was a complete team, full team, full defensive side teamed performance. Maybe not offensive, but defensive performance, because you had Gonzo and Carlton Davis.
Davis with his 2 picks. Now, I mean, not perfect for outside of that. Like, can't sit here and be like he was amazing. He had a few amazing plays, but corners are going to get beat. They're not going to be perfect all the time. Gonzo was excellent. That forced fumble was just kind of something that we haven't really seen from him. I don't want to say he's more of like a finesse corner where he'll cover his guy and he's a cover guy, and he's not really known so much as a tackler or a guy that's going to get, stuck in, but he led the team in tackles and he had a forced fumble. So, he can do it. Not saying that he's suddenly turned a corner or anything, but like it's clearly in his game.
The problem is with Carlton Davis was I thought I'll go to DJ. You went for the linebackers. DJ went for Craig Woodson. I'm going to give shout out to our two corners. We'll speak with Gonzo in a minute, but special shout out to Carlton Davis. You know, he got two interceptions on the game. That's the sort of money that we pay for him. The only problem with Carlton Davis is that he does really, really well, or in games he either plays really well, but he also has a mixture of bad spots as well, i.e. like the 2 defensive pass interferences, which kind of just muddies the water a little bit from his performance.
I think he tends to do that because he knows he's going to get beat, and he probably just does it to see if he can get away with it. And if he does, he does. But he does get flags a lot for that.
He's a number 2 corner. He's not a number 1 corner. He's a number 2.
He's a number 2 corner.
You know, he's a high end number 2 because I think on some teams he'd probably be a number 1.
You stick him on the Raiders or the Browns, not the Browns, so the Raiders or Tennessee, he is probably a number 1 corner.
Yeah, so like he's a real high end number 2. Like you're talking about a handful of cornerbacks in the league, Gonzo being one of them, where teams are going to stay away from throwing to their side. So when you have a cornerback where you're throwing away from one side, who are they going to throw at? They're going to throw the other side. And that's why you see these guys get picked on. They're not necessarily getting picked on. It's just
they don't want to throw on the other side.
A better option. And you see it we'll see it, I think, this week going up against Denver, but not to get ahead of ourselves, where Riley Moss has gotten a lot of criticism. But who's he playing opposite? He's playing Gross from Pat Surtain. Of course he's going to get picked on. You know, the more throws you put in a guy's direction, the chances are, unless they're a guy like Pat Surtain, they're going to, 50 to 75% are going to be completed, So, yeah, that's just me protecting cornerbacks because I was a cornerback.
Yeah, I understand. The defense played this huge part in all of this, okay? But I haven't seen, last week against the Chargers, we ravaged what was left of that offensive, whatever you call of an offensive line, and put Herbert, it was bad enough for him. But CJ Stroud, I was expecting him to be a little bit better. Now, we did see some of his deficiencies in the Pittsburgh game, which said we don't have the best pass rush in the world. It's definitely not as good as Pittsburgh's, but we could probably get to him maybe on 1 or 2 occasions. The fact we turned him over 4 times in one half, not an entire game, but in one half, speaks volumes how many levels this defense has actually come about since, well, probably I would say since the regular season. Since we beat the Jets in week 17, where we only conceded 10 points, we have just been phenomenal. And here's something that I saw earlier on today. I'll never get my bookmarks up. It had something to do with how the defensive performance has been so far this season. Let's have a look. Here we go. Patriots defense this postseason: 1 touchdown allowed, 9 sacks, 66 pressures, 6 takeaways.
We'll have that.
And people say we're talking about the easy schedule. Okay, who have we played in the postseason? The Chargers. Oh, they've got no offense. They're ranked number 5 for the NFL in defense. Oh, the Houston, CJ Stroud's not a very good quarterback. Houston got the number 1 defense. Denver's got the number 2 defense.
All that thing. There's no such thing as an easy schedule. Every game is got its thingy. So
it's limitations. Everything's got that. Anyway.
Just one thing to call out there while we were kind of touching on the topic of Carlton Davis. I think he's probably the only player that, not the only player, but probably the key injury going into next week, because it looks like he left the game with concussion towards the end. So
concussion. Was he in the blue medical tent then, or?
I believe so. Yeah. So it'll be Charles Woods, most likely playing across.
Chucky
Trees.
Charles Woods is What did he have when he came on?
He got beat, I think, when he came in at the first play.
But like you're like that's what a good offense should do, you know, or a good quarterback should do is you see a number you don't recognize coming onto the field playing in the defensive backfield, you test them.
Yeah, you test them.
And cornerbacks know coming onto the field that if somebody's after getting injured and I'm coming on, probably going to target me. So
I mean, I've just seen Adam Schefter just posted on here. They've just released not Stephon Diggs. They've just released who's Stephon Diggs' brother? Trayvon. They've just released Trayvon Diggs. The Packers just released Trayvon Diggs. So maybe bring him in. I don't know.
No.
Oh yeah, they have.
No, he's terrible.
Okay, fair enough.
He's terrible. Gave up a perfect passer rating this year before he got injured. Perfect.
Yeah, who is he coached? Yeah, but who is he coached by in Dallas?
It doesn't matter. You give up a perfect passer rating. Like his thing with the reason he got the contract was that he was a good ball hawking corner, but he gave up lots of plays. And when he stopped being able to ball hawk, like, and that usually is you're just using your athleticism to beat a guy to the ball. And if you lose a step, you don't have anything else to fall back on, you give up a perfect passer rating. So that's what he did.
See, I prefer to play Marcus Jones than Charles Woods.
Well, Marcus Jones,
I know size though is the only issue.
Nah, DeMarcus Jones' size issue. He needs a slot. Keep him in the slot corner.
Yeah, you have. It's either him or Alex Austin, and they prefer Woods to Austin. I think.
Well, yeah, because Austin's only just come back from IR, so he's probably still rusty, isn't he? And he's from special teams at the moment.
And I think before he'd went on IR, he'd lost his job to Woods. I think Woods had overtaken him in the depth chart before he got injured. So it's going to be a case like Austin's going to be up, and I'm sure if Woods has a bad game, Austin will get a bit of rotation as well.
I mean, on the ups, we don't know what the severity of the concussion is. It was just like Gonzo's concussion, wasn't it? We don't know what the severity of it is until we actually see, is he participating? Is he in a red contact jersey? Is he not there for media portion of practice? We simply don't know. Okay, let's go for
released yet.
Listen, when we completely ransacked CJ Stroud for that entire first half, I actually felt sorry for CJ at one point because it was just like, and Kieran said to me as soon as we got the pick 6, he basically turns to me and goes, "That's it, he's gone. His head's gone."
Well, there was a couple wobblers before they were even getting picked, and we're thinking,
he threw some terrible balls. Now, I'm not sure if that's to do with the weather conditions or the wind or what it might be, but when you intercept the ball, get your ball intercepted twice, one going back the other way for a pick 6, that's going to fail your psyche. And New England, and all Zach Kerr did was just dial it up that little bit more and a little bit more, and it just. His passer rating was absolutely shambolic. He played better in the second half, but unfortunately, the bar was on the floor at that point, and you couldn't have played any more worse. He literally did a Nathan Peterman, nearly.
And I feel sorry for him because he hasn't really. He had a good rookie year, but then he's gone kind of like. And I value him. I think he's a really good quarterback, but I don't know if it's a coaching ability. I really don't know.
You want me to tell you what it is? It's when Bobby Slowick left. When Bobby Slowick left, he hasn't been the same.
Isn't their OC our tight ends coach from last year?
Oh, Nick Cayley. Yeah, everyone's had their doubts about him. He couldn't. His play calling in that game was pretty bad as well. I mean, it was pretty bad. But no, CJ Stroud got absolutely ravished by this defense. We're just going to go through these plays now. So the box score will read 28-16. It sounds like New England had looked like a fairly comfortable game. It was far from comfortable, but we'll just go through the first toucher for New England. So it was a 9-yard pass, short middle to Ramondre Stevenson for 9 yards. Then it was a 20-yard run by Ramondre Stevenson, which was a good one. All right, we lost 2 yards on one play. We lost 2 yards on another play. We then had a 13-yard pass on third and 14. That was Drake Maye pass short middle to Diggs, obviously 1 yard shy of the sticks. And then it was the 20-yard. It was their 1st and 1. We're in Houston 28. We're in their red zone. And Drake Maye passes short middle to Mario Douglas for 28 yards. Great route running by Pop Douglas. And look, he has been quiet. I've been wondering what's been happening to him. That was a good route that he ran there. And
by Maye, I think he knew that it was going to be zero blitz. So he knew that if he had a couple of feet on him, Pop on the free safety, then he knew he was going to be open, and he slotted it in perfectly.
I think as well, Bullock kind of missing his tackle didn't.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, he needed to make that tackle and like
put a hand on it.
Douglas just kind of waltzed in really.
Yeah.
So that made it 7-0. Obviously, then Houston were down the field, 10 plays, 65 yards. They only ended up with a field goal, which I've got no issues giving up a field goal. I always say, as long as you don't give up more than 18 points at home, then you should be fine. Straight 3 and out, minus 19 yards on that drive. That was horrendous from us. Then led to the first of the 4 interceptions by CJ Stroud. And then straight after that, it was a 5-yard run by Ramondre Stevenson up the middle. And then Drake Maye decided to take off up the middle and he bloody fumbled it.
Yeah, that was
that was dumb. Sorry, but that was completely dumb. And as a result of that, it led to a turnover and the Steelers and the Texans, they ended up going on a 6-play, 27-yard, and they got the touchdown. It was a 10-yard pass to Christian Kirk. And we were down 10-7. I'm like, oh, great. Now the defense is going to tighten up now. We've got to try and do something. Nope, we punted after 6 plays. Then back-to-back interceptions on Houston's next 2 drives. And then because the one play was the pick, I believe that was the pick 6. Yep, that was the pick 6 one. And then obviously the next one was a kickoff, minus 1 yard run, a 12-yard pass to Xavier Hutchinson, negative 1 yard, and then the interception by Craig Woodson. Again, another great play again. Then it just went punt. New England then got the touchdown that made it 21-10, which was a great dot to Diggs, by the way. I did like what Drake did there. There was a 3-yard run, Travion Henderson, 25-yard pass to Kayshon Boutte, who we'll get into in a minute. 3-yard run by Henderson, and then the 18-yard pass to Boutte again, moving the sticks, and then a 7-yard touchdown pass to Diggs. Which, by the way, that catch he made was that was what a semi, that's what a seasoned veteran would do. He's caught it, and then just the way he just grips onto it like he's, like, I'm not going to use a term or phrase. I might get cancelled for this. When he just grips hold of the ball and he just makes it look easy to bring it down with. It was a phenomenal catch. And at 21-10, you're thinking, we're so far ahead, but yet we should be ahead by a lot more than this. The amount of turnovers we generated, we got 7 points off the interceptions, and that was 7. That was the pick 6 by Marcus Jones. But the offense just couldn't do anything. It couldn't conjure up anything up until that point.
Which is why they're the number 1 defense.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anything on them.
And like one thing I just want to bring up, right, is that Houston defense was as advertised. Like, it was so good. That front is fantastic. Anderson and Hunter are as good a tandem as I've seen. Not saying they're the 2 best defensive ends I've seen, but as a tandem, they're as good as they've seen. They're definitely the best in the NFL as a tandem. at the moment. I'd heard a lot of talk about Lassiter all year, and I hadn't seen much of him, to be honest. Oh my God, he's good. He is really good.
They've got two good corners. They've got two very good corners, Houston. I think that's the one thing we can definitely, their pass rush is ridiculous, but their secondary is just as potent.
Yeah,
Jalen Petrie is a strong safety. I mean, he comes down the field like a flipping missile.
Yeah.
And then you got Jalen Reed, who obviously he's a rookie, but still looks very, very good on paper.
There's one thing I just want to do is talk about. It was shutting everything down.
The short game wasn't working at all in that.
Yeah, the one thing I just want to wax lyrical, if I can, is Daniil Hunter, right? I think people would kind of he's kind of the Robin to Will Anderson's Batman, right?
Yes.
But I think he's managed to make a career out of just flying under the radar, right? If I was to say to you, without checking, how many career sacks do you think Daniil Hunter has?
Career sacks.
To give some context, right? I'll just we'll say
he's 31, isn't he? How long has he been in the league for? 7 years?
He's been in the league about 8 or 9 years. We'll just say Matthew Judon has 72. DeForest
this is the he used to be Vikings,
He was 71. Cliff Averill is 74. Joey Bosa is 77. Brandon Graham, who's in the league 15 years, is 80 sacks. How many? Just guess. Just guess that there's no shame and there's no. How many sacks do you think Hunter has without checking?
I'm going to say 90. Random.
Yeah. Carl?
I'm going 105. I think it's over 100.
He has 114 sacks.
Oh my God.
You would not think.
He's 31. That's when that's when elite passers like that should be starting to slowly be on the decline, but it just hasn't been.
He's the same amount of sacks as JJ Watt.
Wow.
He has more sacks than Khalil Mack. And when I say this now, right, they've all played around 11 or 12 years. Hunter missed there was a 2-year period between his age of 26 and 27 where Hunter only played 7 games due to injury. And he still got 6 sacks, by the way, in those 2 years, even though he only played 7 games. So he missed time, because I know JJ Watt has missed time as well, because I don't want to just be sitting here going, oh, Hunter missed a year, therefore, and Watt missed a year. And I'm not saying he's better than Watt, right? I think we all agree Watt is a better player. But what I'm saying is that he has half a sack less than TJ Watt in 1 year more, admittedly. He's only two and a half behind Calais Campbell all time. He's 27th all time for sack totals. He has at least another 3 years left in him. He'll be on his way into the top 20 all time. Dwight Freeney, for example, played 16 years in the NFL as 125. Daniil Hunter only has to get 11 more sacks to be on Dwight Freeney's level.
And Dwight Freeney is a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
I believe so. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. So he's in that Hall of Fame conversation with that already.
Yeah. So it's just, you don't hear people talking so much about Daniil Hunter. He had 2 sacks in the game. Yes, Will Anderson had 3. Daniil Hunter had 2 plus a forced fumble as well. So
he was creating havoc.
Just an unbelievable player. And I don't want to sit here and try and be all pretentious, but an absolute pleasure to watch those two fellas play. Unfortunately, it was against our offense, but take my Patriots hat off for a second. Fantastic. Putting Patriots hat back on. O-line needs to be better.
Yeah. We'll speak about the O-line in a minute. Let's talk about Drake, shall we? He 16 to 27, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, passer rating of just over 100.7. It did take 5 sacks, lost 36 yards. He had 4 fumbles, 2 of them recovered, 2 of them lost. DJ, what have we said in our last two shows about Drake and his bollocks security.
Yeah.
Ball security,
and it's
sorry.
Football. It's player football as well. You don't be needing to do this now. You could probably accept it in season, but now is not the time for doing this and fucking around and making silly mistakes. You need to be able to know when the heat's coming, to read your pocket. If it's not there, throw it away quick or take a sack. Don't try and force the pass and then get hit whilst you're in midair or your hands going forward. He's just continuously doing this week in, week out now.
I think if he's trying to get that, I think if he's trying to get the ball out, I don't think you could blame him on the fumble because he is actually trying to get a pass off. But
yeah, but who's he going to? I mean, he must be going somewhere deep to be able to. I don't know.
He's trying. He's probably trying to go to Booty all the time.
I think I've read a stat where we're now. I think Maye's the quarterback that's got the most fumbles in the league now, 14 or something like that.
13 or 14. Yeah.
Which isn't great.
That's got to clear up.
Yeah.
That's got to be cleared up, especially now we're on the road to Denver this Sunday. That's got to clear up. You cannot do that on the road. Although I feel like New England play a cleaner game on the road than they do at home.
Better on the road.
We play better on the road, so you know. But he did make some plays that when we've asked him to, he's easy to do that. Obviously, the touchdown to Diggs, the touchdown to Pop Douglas. But that little montage I saw at the end of that video, that beautiful 40-yard bomb to Kayshon Boutte, who burned the All-Pro corner in Derek Stingley, that was literally on the money. That could not have gone anywhere else. It was literally on the money, and I literally lost it. I literally lost. I nearly woke my son up actually as Booty caught that. I was bouncing for joy as I was being reviewed. I'm like, oh no!
Yeah, wow! I was like, how has he done that?
Just the way he's come down with it. I'll just bring the post up there. Where is it? Here we go. This was our logo. Just that's his on the left picture. He's got hold of it with just one hand. He's just going to try and cradle it in. I mean, it was just an incredible catch. Big up to Kayshon Boutte. He only had 3 receptions on the game, but he had 75 yards, and one of them obviously one of them went for a touchdown. He got targeted 5 times. Okay, Stephon Diggs had 4 receptions for 40 yards. Demario Douglas 2 for 36. Austin Hooper 1 for 14. Stevenson 4 for 11. Hunter Henry had a bit of a disappointing one reception for 5. He got targeted twice. Kyle Williams got targeted 3 times and didn't do anything. I don't know. I don't know what the chemistry issue is between Drake and Kyle Williams, but it sounds like that it ain't working.
He's creating separation. He does get separated.
Yeah,
it's just his ability to catch the ball. I mean, Drake has found him a couple of times in the season, the long ball and stuff, but I think it's a chemistry issue.
Even the touchdown to Boutte, Hunter gets destroyed on the chip, and Anderson slaps Campbell to the ground. Oh dear, yes. So our offensive line. Well, actually, I will give props to one part of our offensive line. Right tackle Morgan Moses. He actually had a clean sheet and 23 matchup splits between Daniil Hunter, which was 18 of them, and Will Anderson, he had 5. Pats also ran behind Moses and right guard Michael Bueno to close out the game with 45 rushing yards in the 4th quarter. Great stuff from Moses. That was the tweet by Evan Lazar.
That's where I thought we controlled the game. On that 4th quarter, we was running the ball and we was doing a run. That Texans defense was
because the crowd was getting in CJ's head. They had to burn 2 timeouts, and because of that, they could not burn any times. So New England was like, right, okay, let's go jumbo package. Let's throw Ty Mumford in on the offensive line, and let's just run the ball with Mondre. I think we chewed up like 4 minutes. I think we chewed up like 6 minutes.
I don't know why it's taken us that long to go in jumbo formation when it was working.
Because I think if we did it earlier, it would have been very easy for them to work out. Then I don't think we tried it until the 4th quarter, because then we got the lead with 12 points. It was like we're playing conservative offense, but when we play jumbo, that Ramondre Stevenson is going to have a good running game. Let's go to Ramondre stats. Listen, he averages under 4.5 yards a carry, which is not bad considering what going up against the Texans defense. 16 carries for 70 yards. He did have 4 receptions for 11.
He was also out for a quarter.
For an eye injury of some kind. There was something in his eye. I don't know what happened. Then he came back out, thank God. Because Trayvon Henderson, this frustrated me. 12 carries for 25 yards. Yeah. He is not I'm sorry to say, he is an RB2, but you've got to utilize this kid in a much different way. But because none of the short game or the screen game was working, Trayvon was getting those plays.
Not run the middle player. You need to use them as a stretch play where you can run round like when you toss it or something and you run round them rather than just hitting up in the middle. Stevenson's good in the middle, but Henderson to me, he just doesn't. He needs to have a little bit of room and then he can then maneuver.
I mean, the whole point of putting Kyrus Tonga back at fullback was to obviously, create holes for Henderson to run through. And obviously they beat us to the punch on that one.
Yeah.
Houston's receivers, obviously Dalton Schultz went down literally after the first drive. Calf injury, that kind of eliminated basically any sort of passing offense they could potentially do. So Jaden Higgins has 6 receptions, 59 yards. Dalton Schultz was 2 for 47. Xavier Hutchinson 4 for 44. And then it was Christian Kirk 2 catches for 20 yards. Woody Marks 2 for 19. Cade Stover, before he went down with his knee injury, 1 reception for 2 yards. 212 yards. We eliminated them 2 in the passing game, which is still good. You eliminate a receiving 250, that's still a good night. The run defense. We know that when Milton Williams is on that field, no one can run the ball on us. And on Sunday night, it happened again. The Houston Texans ran for a grand total of 48 yards. 17 by Woody Marks, 14 by Nick Chubb, 11 by CJ Stroud, 6 by Cade Stover. Cade Stover was obviously the tush, but not the tush push, but the non-quarterback, the non-quarterback sneak, shall we say? They did it twice, but they just couldn't run the ball. And this is the thing with Houston: they run the ball, then they allow the defense to then take the rest of the hold. But you couldn't run the ball, and then
when they came out in the second half, Chubb was running all right. I think he was doing much better job than what they were doing with Marks. Yeah. And then Chubb had 4 for 14. So and then Marks had 14 carries for 17. I don't know why they
had 11 plays. I had Woody Marks had a 2-yard run. It was then a 23-yard pass to Hutchinson, 4-yard pass to Hutchinson. Oh, but
yeah.
Oh, the review. Oh, it was a fumble, but the officials said the runner was down by contact. When playing was reversed. And then I had an 8-yard pass to Higgins, a 7-yard run to Chubb, 2-yard run by Chubb, 4-yard run by Stover, which is obviously the non-callback sneak, 8-yard run, a 0-yard run, an incompletion, then a field goal. So how many times have they run the ball on us? They ran 8, 12, 14, 21. They only ran for 23 yards on that play. They only ran for 23 yards on that drive at the start of the third quarter. So, I'm not putting anything too much stock into it. But at the end of the day, our run defense completely shut them down. Josh McDaniels I'd say he had an okay type of game, but there were so many times where you can see a pattern developing where it's like, literally it's a running play every first down. No wonder the Houston Texans defense was ready for us on our first play because it wasn't going anywhere. It just was not going anywhere. That's my only beef with McDaniels at the moment in time, but he's not doing anything exotic. He's not trying anything new. It seems to be playing safer. Digital Patriots fan says maybe New England didn't miss out by letting Nick Cayley go. Well, it has helped. Although the one thing we have let go, which I'm really gutted we did, was actually Nick Caserio, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But look, overall, 28-16, there's nothing to be sniffed at. We've beaten 2 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL now. And now we have to go on the road. Now, it's great for us because we're undefeated on the road. We're road warriors. We know how to win on the road. But it is at Mile High. It is at Denver. Now, the one sort of glimmering hope, well, I will say glimmering hope, that's actually quite harsh considering what happened. Bo Nix goes down with an injury. He breaks a bone in his ankle. He's having surgery on it today, which means Jarrett Stidham, the ex-Patriots quarterback, is going to be starting. He hasn't thrown a pass since week 18 of 2023.
It's going to be rusty, isn't he?
But Sean Payton has a habit of getting the best out of backup quarterbacks.
I think Vrabel came out today in his press conference saying he wanted to get him as a backup at the beginning of the season.
He did say that, actually. Vrabel did say that. But when Denver throw freaking $12 million at you to stay and be the backup, I mean, you're not exactly going to turn it down, are you? $12 million is a lot of dough.
Yeah.
To just play backup. We're going to go into this game a little bit on edge because it's Mile High. It's a house of horrors for us. We have not done well there when it comes to the playoffs. We're 0-4 there in the playoffs. We all know the last one from 2015 between Manning and Brady. But that defense of Denver was fucking relentless, pardon my language. That was disgusting. Had it not have been for the missed 2-point conversion, or even worse, Steven Gostkowski missing a bloody PAT in the first half, it might have took it to overtime, might have been something different. But it is what it is. We have struggled there. The altitude is going to be a problem. What I don't like about it is the fact Vrabel's turned around and said that they're going to be flying out to Denver on Saturday morning. So instead of flying out earlier to try and get accommodated to the altitude and so on, he's literally going out there flying out on the Saturday, doing a walkthrough, playing Sunday, celebrating the AFC Championship, and then going flying back to Foxborough. I'm not sure. I need to find out which teams have done this and it's worked before. What I'm going to do over the next couple of days is I'm going to be watching the footage for when they play Jacksonville, because that's the only loss they've suffered at home. And I need to find out what they did really, really well in that game to not only put 34 points on them, but hold Denver to 20. Now, we're not playing Bo Nix now. We're playing Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah,
but
I think it's going to come down to our front four have to be spot on like we've been in the last 2 games.
The thing
we need
is,
to disrupt that passing game and let him make the mistakes.
The thing is, though, is
who's their running back? I mean, who are they? Half decent? I mean, I don't really.
So they got RJ Harvey, who's a rookie, and McLaughlin. However, J.K. Dobbins is now scheduled to come back off IR. He's in a 21-day return window.
I don't think he'll be ready enough.
I think he'll play. It's the AFC Championship. I think he will play. But New England have been able to stop any running game. And I think that's what's going to be the key here. You stop their running game and put the ball in Stidham's hands, dare him to beat us. To beat us. Because all I've seen on social media so far is people show highlight reels of Jarrett Stidham throwing deep balls. What's one thing New England do very, very well? They don't give up the deep ball. So they're going to have to throw checkdowns and underneaths. They've lost Pat Bryant. They've lost Pat Bryant due to a concussion. They've lost because that was a nasty hit he took. They've lost Troy Franklin. He went down with a hamstring injury. I don't know the situation on Mims because he looked like he took a shot because he caught the touchdown and then one of the cameras hit the lower part of his back, which must have hurt. I'm sure that was just a bruise of some kind.
And Sutton's been quiet this year, isn't he? Or am I?
Sutton's going to be shut down by Gonzo. It's going to be down to Little Jordan Humphrey.
Or the tight end.
It's going to be down to little Jordan Humphrey or Troutman, or I don't know who else the other tight end is.
Ingram. Evan
Ingram,
Ingram.
innit?
Evan Ingram.
He's not done a whole lot for them this year by comparison to previous years.
He's got stone for hands. He hasn't done well. Can't catch the ball. So look, Sunday's going to be a hard game. Really, really hard game to predict. Obviously, we'll have our guest on Friday night to talk about it more. It felt a bit anticlimactic. So I would have loved it to have been Drake Maye versus Bo Nix. That would have been a fantastic, and that would be a great game on paper. Has it kind of watered it down? Now it's going to be Drake Maye versus Jared Stidham. Yes, but the threat is still very much looming. It's still Denver at the end of the day. They are a nightmare to deal with at their place.
I just want to see a better offensive game because we need to be better on offense. We can't just rely on the. I know the D will do D things, but we need to be able to create field goals at least. You know what I mean? We can't keep going 3 and out, saying our defense will do it. My worry is Campbell. I don't think he's been up to par since he's been back from his injury. I don't know if he's still got issues with the injury, but when he comes up against the likes of Garrett and Crosby, TJ, he struggles, and I get it. He's a rookie and that, but I just think this Nick Bonito guy is going to be on him all day. And he hasn't really got anyone next to him. Wilson's not the best. He's playing out of position. He's not really a left guard. He's more of a centre player, so he can't really double up against him either because they're just getting beat all the time around that blind side. I just want to see a little bit more on the offensive side of things. That's what I'm really got to bother, I think.
It needs to play a cleaner game. Apparently, the weather's going to be slightly better. It's going to be sunny. There's going to be no snow, no rain.
Cold though, but not snow yet.
I mean, he's got to get over the cold. If you're out, if he needs to grip it properly. I know you've got those heat warmers that you got in there, but maybe it's not like freezing cold. But how about maybe just wear a glove on your left hand or something? I don't know. It's there's going to be a lot to talk about in that preview.
It's the altitude as well. It's going to be a massive issue. I get. Like you said before.
This is why flying out on the Saturday morning makes no sense to me. I surely would have flown out.
I would have gone out fucking Thursday and spent the whole Friday, whole Saturday, and then gone Sunday.
I would have flown out. I would have flown out Tuesday. I would have stayed within the Denver region, find a college campus somewhere, train there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're then used to the altitude, and then all you got to do is a bus coach all the way down to all the way down there. So, but listen, we pretend NFL analysts. We got no idea. Vrabel knows what he's doing with his team, so we just have to go with what he goes. And if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, well,
we've always said that we can't play in Miami because it's too hot, and then
but Denver's not. That's true. And when people say, you're 0-4 against Denver, I said, yes, that is also very true.
Completely different team.
But that was when we had Brady, and that was when we had Belichick. This is completely different. As I say, all New England got to do is just play clean football. But that's very easy said than done because we've come against the number 5 defense in the NFL and the Chargers. We've played the Houston Texans, number 1 defense in the NFL. Now we got to go against the number 2 defense in the NFL. If we end up making the Super Bowl, we're not playing the top 5 defense. We've either got Seattle or you've got the Rams. And they're 6th and 10th, I believe.
Seattle looks scary though. Fuck. I've watched them the other. I know
they're like us in a way. They're very opportunistic. So it's going to be a tough one at the end of the day. One last thoughts on the on our game. Obviously, the snow had a bit of an impact. People said, "Oh, it's going to be a snow game." It was snow game. Listen, if there's one thing Gillette Stadium did do to make it modernization, they put heaters under the pitch, under the field. So the snow fell, but it melted. It melted. It just made it incredibly slippery.
I prefer the aesthetic of having snow lay on the ground.
I do as well. I do as well.
That's just, that in fact, it probably would have worked out better for the Patriots because they have, I would say, a better running game than the Texans. It would have been better because it's much. You remember those games with LaShawn McCoy playing in the snow, and he went off for like 200 plus yards or something, 250 yards or whatever he did, and it was just because he knew where he was going, but the defense didn't, and they just couldn't grip. They were sliding all over the place, and he used control of his body, and he was able to just go off. And he says he even said himself, it was much easier it was a lot easier than it looked. I suppose his overarching point was because the guys were just falling all over the place. And I think with a guy like Travion Henderson in the team, maybe you just turn that heating off next time.
I mean, the Texans, they play in a dome, so they probably weren't used to playing in that kind of condition, which again did work a bit in our favor as well. But
defenses do travel. So I've just seen this NFL researchers. So Chargers defense in the wild card, they're ranked 9th in scoring, 5th in total defense, 5th in pass, 5th completion percentage, 1st in passer rating. The Texans defense, 2nd in scoring, 1st in total defense, 6th in pass, 3rd in completion percentage, 3rd in passer rating. The Broncos defense, who we play up against this Sunday, they're the 3rd scoring defense. Total, they're 2nd. Pass, they're against the 7th. Completion percentage, 2nd. And passer rating, 6th.
Easy by comparison.
It was very easy by comparison to the Texans one. I just wonder. The problem is, look at the path. Ranked fifth against the pass. Chargers ranked 6th against the pass. Texas ranked 7th against the pass. Denver. It's all going down just a little bit, but this is where the offensive line has got to snap out of his skin. Listen, Bradbury, Onwenu, and Moses have done amazingly well, but Will Campbell is starting to get found out a little bit now. And against the elite pass rushers, it showed. It really does show. I'm not saying we need to kick him inside the guard just yet. I think that's a conversation for maybe another 1 or 2 years down the line, or at least one more year. But if it continues,
but why don't they swap sides? Why don't put Moses on the L?
Moses has played right. He's 14 years in the league, and he's played nothing but right tackle his whole time.
He's 35 years of age, mate. Come on.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Moses on my blind side than Campbell, where I know he's not going to be that.
But you see, like Campbell is, as he's lining up on the left side, is going to get their best pass rusher. So Moses is usually going up against the number 2 guy. Will Campbell is, when he came into the league, people were saying his ceiling is Jake Matthews, who is kind of like the median of left tackles in the NFL. A one-time Pro Bowler in a guy that's probably played about 12 or 13 years in the NFL. Like he's not. He might have been a high pick, but he's not going to be like to be able to stonewall these top pass rushers. He's going to get destroyed, but so is most other starting left tackles in the NFL. You know, they're gonna. It's only the elite guys like Trent Williams that will be able to handle these guys, and Trent Williams will get beat too. You know, but obviously not as much. But yeah, I just think that if you look around the league, there's not a lot of good left tackle play because of the college systems that they're playing now. And it's, I just think he's a hell of a lot better than I suppose we look at Vidarian Lowe, and we all kind of, I think, would it be fair for me to say that we all thought, he'll be cut at some point this year. You know, like during the off season, he'll lose his job. Somebody better will come along. We saw how bad he was last year. And I think everybody assumed, well, he's not going to be the backup tackle or the starting tackle at any point this year. And here he is. Why is he there? Because that's how good the backup tackles are in the NFL. And to be fair to him, he played well while Campbell was out.
That's what I was about to say. I thought he did particularly okay.
I don't want to say he played excellent or anything like that, but like for where the expectation was, which was down through the floor, he was pretty damn good. But
I don't know why they're not rotating him then. If they know that Campbell's, if he's not match fit or if he's got an injury, why not they start like giving?
I think it's an ability thing. I think Campbell is better than Lowe. And because you've got to think now, Campbell, the last 2 games he's come back, he's been going up against premium pass rushers. Yeah. Lowe wasn't. Not saying he wasn't going up against good players, it's just he wasn't going up against the top guys. Look, I just think that if you say, oh well, we need to think about replacing Campbell, you know, or letting him. Yeah, and I agree there.
Well, I don't know.
We can't, because Lowe would need to come in and outplay what Campbell has done. I don't think he did that. You know, I think he kind of gave the same play that Campbell would give. And like, as I was saying earlier, Campbell he's not that guy. You know, he'll never be that guy. He's going to be a pretty decent left tackle in the NFL. Very like Nate Solder. When he comes up against the premium pass rushers, he's going to get his ass kicked. But what he'll do is he won't get his ass kicked by, you know, the kind of the lesser guys. You know, he won't get his ass kicked by Harold Landry or Clavon Chason. You know, love you guys, mean it, but you know, that's the type of guy. They're the type of guys that Will Campbell will beat and look after.
It's going to be a test. It's going to be a big test for him. Listen, we'll do the preview on Friday night, and we'll have a discussion and find out what it is, and we can break this down and how we come out of this. We are, just to let you know about the spread, we are minus 5.5 point favorites. That to me scares me. Unless Vegas knows something that we don't. Unless Vegas don't believe in Jared Stidham, then that's the only thing we can think of, really. But I'm not taking this team for granted. I'm not taking this we are 60 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl and facing either Seattle or the Rams. And, you know, you've got to play if there's any good time that you played average football against the Chargers. You played sloppy, but encouraging football last week. Now this is the game. This is the game. Now you cannot afford to make mistakes, because then you got 2 weeks to prepare for your opponent and 2 weeks to get this out of your system. Just hold on to that ball, Drake. That's all we ask of you, and we will be fine. It's going to be a problem. Also,
I think Hunter needs to be more open. These two guys, well, I know he played decent against the Chargers because he got that touchdown, but he was non-existent on Sunday night. Yeah, and I think he needs to be his option, because Drake seems to love him when he's in the open.
Yeah, Denver do like the screen game as well, so that's going to be something you're going to have to target as well. But we'll have a discussion about their running backs, also their receivers as well. So yeah, right. Thank you to DJ. Thank you to Luke. We are getting on out of here. We're through to the AFC Championship. Still can't believe I'm saying that, but put them in front of us and we'll just knock them down. That's what we've been doing all season long. Bring on Denver, and it's going to be a good one. Smash the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. Tell all your friends. Follow us on social media platforms, and make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple as well. And we'll be back on Friday night for the preview against Denver. The last rodeo will be upon us.
We all we got.
We all we need. Pats on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pats.